Hi there, fanboys and fangirls, and welcome to the first ever episode of Fanboy Force, a YouTube show dedicated to bringing you comic book reviews, movie reviews, toy and statue reviews, Comic-Con coverage, creator spotlights, shop spotlights, and everything in between that's awesome and geeky. So a little bit about myself, being the first episode. I should probably tell you who I am. My name's Sean, and I run Fanboy Force. I'm the head writer there, and I'll also be your host on these excruciatingly awkward first steps into YouTube land. I've been collecting comics since I was... well, I've been reading and looking at comics since I was 3. Collecting seriously since I was probably 8 or 9. I learned how to read from comic books. My first movie I ever went to was Star Wars. As a child, I devoured every cartoon that was on TV, along with like the Adam West Batman show and Battlestar Galactica and Buck Rogers. Basically, I'm a big nerd. I've been collecting toys for just as long, and big toy guy. Love toys. I've been involved in nerd and geek comic culture, whatever you want to call it, for my whole life, and as no place I'd rather be. It is the best community of people in the world. So I'd like to give a shout out to my friendly neighborhood comic shop, Iguana Comics in Grants Pass, Oregon, run by the wonderful Jeff and Sunda Eagley, who supply me with my weekly fix of 4-color addiction every week. So I'd like to go over, for our first episode, this week's haul, and just kind of show you guys what I like to read and what I picked up this week. And first up on the palette, the menu this week, we have the first installment of DC's New 52 Trinity of Sin, which is going to tie over to all the Justice League titles and apparently have some serious ramifications. Now, granted, I haven't read any of these books yet. I just got them, so hopefully I'll have reviews of some of these issues up on the blog within the next few days, and we'll get to discuss them a little bit more. But let's take a look at Trinity of Sin, Pandora, which is like I said, the first installment of a summer-long crossover. This is going to be a big deal, folks. So if you're into the New 52 and you're digging the Justice League stuff, I wouldn't miss out on any part of this, because it's all going to tie together, and it's going to be big. It's leading up to some bigger stuff after this arc is over, and I mean, already from the cover, this is amazing artwork already. I mean, I'm already sold on the book. I haven't even read it yet. So that looks cool, and I cannot wait to check that out. Another Trinity of War tie-in this week is Phantom Stranger number 10, which also has some amazing artwork, very nice cover. And I don't really know much about the Phantom Stranger. I'm not that into the character, and I've never picked up a book before, so this is my first issue. But it's Trinity War, so I figured I'd read every tie-in that comes out for this series and check it out. So, pretty neat. Next up is another DC New 52 book, written by Gail Simone, one of my favorite writers right now in comics. And she's working on a series called The Movement, which is really kind of a dark superhero series. But issue 3 came out this week, and this series is good. It's gotten me hooked. I was at Wizard World Portland Comic-Con back in February and saw a panel, Creator Spotlight with Gail Simone, and she talked a little bit about this book. So, if you like superhero comics with a little bit of a twist and some really solid writing on it, I would start picking up The Movement. It's pretty darn good, and I haven't been disappointed so far. Granted, we're only 3 issues in, but it's good stuff, people, so check it out. Next up on my list, my last DC book for the week, I swear, is Batman Incorporated number 12. This is where it all starts to go down. It all starts to go down, people, right here. As many of you know, Bruce Wayne in the Batman titles has been grieving over the death, the murder, actually, of his son Damian Wayne, the last Robin. And he's kind of having a breakdown and freaking out about stuff. So this is the confrontation. If you haven't read the arc, I would read that stuff before you read this, definitely, because he has a confrontation with Damian's murderer, and the final battle, as it says on the cover, begins right here. So this is bound to be some crazy stuff. And Grant Morrison's writing this title. It has been solid since the very beginning. Grant Morrison knows how to write comics. And if you haven't checked out his work, I would check out All-Star Superman, or this book in particular, Batman Incorporated, and catch up. It's some of the best writing that you can get in a comic book here. This was my pick of the week. I cannot wait to read this book. Now we move on to Marvel. And since Marvel has started the Marvel Now relaunch, I haven't been as happy with Marvel books as I have been in years past. I grew up reading Marvel comics. I love Marvel comics. I love their characters. But some of their books are hit or miss with me. It's not. I haven't been a diehard Marvel fan like I was in years past. So one thing I do like, though, is their ongoing Guardians of the Galaxy series. Number 1 won me over. Number 2 was great. Number 3 and 4 were great. So this week we have Guardians of the Galaxy, Tomorrow's Avengers, number 1, which appears to be a one-shot. Basically, it looks like it is a prelude to the ongoing series leading up to Guardians of the Galaxy number 1, with bits focusing on each of the major characters and what happens before the series, and it's okay. I flipped through it. I haven't read every word of it. I just kind of flipped through to see the art and the story and how it all fits in. I like Brian Michael Bendis' stuff, most of it anyway, and Guardians of the Galaxy is a great reboot. Expect to see a lot more of these characters, because the next phase of Marvel Cinematic Universe movies is going to center heavily on Guardians of the Galaxy, which James Gunn is working on right now. And I'm excited. I've always liked this team, and I always thought they were really cool, and I like Rocket Raccoon, and I like Groot. I like all the characters in it, so I'm pretty excited for the movie. I'm excited for the new books. If you like superhero stuff and also heavy science fiction stuff, this is a book you should check out, because it's basically like the Avengers in space, and it's pretty awesome. So excited to check that out fully. The next book is that I picked up is Avengers AI number 1, which is the first post Age of Ultron Avengers book, which I don't know what to expect from this. I thought Age of Ultron was over, and it wasn't. You get to the end of book 10, and there's all kinds of advertisements and pages sampling what's coming next in the Age of Ultron universe, mini-universe, whatever you want to call it. So I picked it up because I did like the Age of Ultron stuff, and I'm curious to see how it's all going to unfold. But it's kind of hit or miss with me, the same as the actual miniseries was. It's good. It's okay. It's a huge crossover that affects everything in the Marvel Universe, so it's neat. I'll keep reading it if it's interesting, but we'll see. And my next Marvel book is one that there's been a lot of buzz about, and it looks awesome. It is Deadpool Kills Deadpool. New 4-issue limited series featuring everyone's favorite Merc with a mouth. And I haven't read this yet, but Cullen Bunn's writing it, and he's a great writer. Another guy that's really cool, and I think that this might be a awesome 4-issue miniseries. The ongoing Deadpool series has really pleased me too, Brian Pozane's series, and this just, to top it all off, now I have 2 Deadpool books to look forward to every month, so that's cool. My last Marvel book on my list this week, for new releases anyway, is The Superior Foes of Spider-Man number 1, which kicks off Superior Spider Month at Marvel. There's a bunch of Spider-Man stuff coming out. I am potentially the world's biggest Spider-Man fan. I love Spider-Man. I love everything about Spider-Man. I love all the books. I collect Spider-Man stuff. I've been reading the Spider-Man comics for a long time. It's what kind of got me started on comics in general. So this book takes place in the new Spider-Man stuff that's going on. If you haven't read it, you should check it out. It's a story arc where Peter Parker dies, and in his place, Dr. Octopus, inhabiting Peter's body, becomes Spider-Man. So the reason this book is interesting, and I'm looking forward to it, is this is all from Spider-Man's villains' perspectives. And if you have been following the Superior Spider-Man book, you know that Spider-Man is not who he used to be. He's a little darker, a little more violent. He's Dr. Octopus, but trying to be Spider-Man. So the villains have taken notice of this for sure, where, you know, he's not he's not pulling his punches as much. He's willing to kill. He's willing to do things that Peter Parker's Spider-Man wasn't willing to do. And so if you're a Spider-Man villain, the world of New York City has just gotten a little bit more dangerous and scary. So we have Shocker and Beetle and Boomerang, and I mean, these are all people that Spider-Man's beaten many, many times before, but now we've got a dangerous, psychotic Spider-Man out there trying to play hero. So this is a book that I'm kind of really looking forward to reading. Besides, I think the cover art is really cool on this, and it's just going to be an interesting ride. As a side note, I am not entirely pleased with the Superior Spider-Man book because I feel all the reasons I love Spider-Man so much are not there in this new book because it's Dr. Octopus being Spider-Man, and his moral code's a little bit different, a lot different. And I know that Peter will probably come back and become Spider-Man again, but it seems like a long time they're dragging this out. So I will hang on there and keep reading Superior Spider-Man and Avenging Spider-Man every month, hoping that things get a lot more interesting. But right now, I just really want Peter Parker to be Spider-Man again. I'm not alone in that. And speaking of Peter Parker being Spider-Man, I picked up some vintage books at the comic store this week. I got not a complete run, but a couple issues here, 38 and 39 of Marvel Team Up featuring Spider-Man. I don't know if you can see those. Let's see, 38 has the Beast, and 39 has Human Torch as the team-ups. I always like these. It's fun to see Spider-Man team up with other characters from the Marvel Universe and just have these little mini-adventures. I mean, the arcs didn't last very long. It was like maybe 1 issue, maybe 2 or 3 issues, and then, you know, on to the next story. So, I always enjoyed anything with Spider-Man interacting with the other characters from the Marvel Universe, particularly Johnny Storm, characters like that were close to his age and kind of wise asses like Spider-Man was. And they're enjoyable reads. But for a couple bucks, you can't beat that. I mean, it's pretty awesome. Picked up a couple more. Got Team Up number 43 with Doctor Doom. I haven't read this one yet, but I mean, teaming up with Doctor Doom, come on. I mean, Doctor Doom's awesome. You can't beat that. So, interested in checking that out. And my last Team Up book, got Marvel Team Up number 53 with the Hulk, which is another favorite of mine, as you can probably tell. I've got Hulk and Spidey sitting right next to me here. So, yeah, these are always fun books. These books came out, in 1977, so it's been a while. But John Byrne did the art for these and stuff. I mean, a couple bucks, you can't beat that. And I always love reading the old vintage comics. Last but not least, Amazing Spider-Man 186, which I actually already have this issue, but it's in really, really poor condition. This one's quite an upgrade from the one I've got, and it's nothing really special about it. It's just kind of a normal issue, I guess. No key issue, no key events happen in it. And then the second one I got was 187, I think. Yeah, 187, which features Electro and Captain America. So that's pretty cool, and it's cool they had them in sequence there. That was pretty neat. So for a couple of bucks, I mean, you can't beat a couple of vintage Spider-Man books from the 70s. So I picked those up and plan on bagging and boarding them and adding them to my Spider-Man collection. Well, that's it for this week's comic roundup and haul video. It's been a light week. Usually I walk away from the comic store with a bit more than that, but this week was light but good. So I'd like to thank, again, Jeff and Sunday Eagley at Iguana Comics in Grants Pass, Oregon, for hooking me up with comics every week and making sure that my fix is there and I'm not shaking, covered in blankets, crumpled in a corner in my house somewhere because I don't have new comics to read. So thanks to those guys for keeping me going, and thank you for watching. And be sure to click subscribe down below. Leave me a comment. If you guys have any questions or recommendations, things you'd like me to review or go into or talk about, just be sure to let us know. We'll try to do our best to squeeze it into a future show. And remember, you can always email me at fanboyforce@gmail.com. And be sure to check out fanboyforce.blogspot.com for my articles and reviews and all sorts of other cool goodies. And we'll be back next week with another installment of Fanboy Force. So, fanboys, fangirls, I bid you farewell. See you later, true believers.